Hey y'all, Dennis here. Tonight we are going to jump into the Suzanne Morphew case out of Colorado. More specifically, we're going to jump into some information that has come out during the preliminary hearings. This case, if there was ever a case that has just an absolute shock factor from the beginning, I don't even want to say the beginning of the preliminary hearing for sure. This case has the shock factor. I want to be clear up front that this is not a smear campaign on Suzanne, but I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to condone cheating, basically. To touch base, in case you haven't got any updates anywhere else on this, it has come out that Suzanne did have an affair with, I've seen they've called a high school sweetheart who actually lives in Michigan. He is actually married and a father of 6 kids, and this affair allegedly took place over the course of 2 years, with them meeting up at least 6 times. So again, I want to stress this is not a smear campaign on Suzanne, but I'm not going to lie and beat around the bush about something like that. And if Barry or somebody else murdered her over this, they should be held to the highest extent of the law. There's no excuse. That is not an excuse for murder. There's really no excuse for murder. Self-defense is one thing, murder is completely different. So before I go off rambling my thoughts and everything, let's go ahead and kind of jump into some of the things that we have been able to learn through this preliminary hearings. And it's so much information that there's no way I'm going to get it all fit on one video. So this will be a series of videos. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got about 6.5 pages of notes for tonight. But Suzanne Morphew is the lady that's missing. Barry Morphew is her husband. He is currently in jail. Preliminary hearings ongoing. And he has been charged with her murder, trying to persuade an investigator, tampering with the human body. I mean, the list goes on. And Jeff Liebler, you will hear that name coming up, is the man that she had the affair with, the married man, father of 6. And I do want to make it clear, this is a preliminary hearing. This is not a trial. There is I'm sure, a lot of information, a lot of evidence that we will be seeing later on when this goes to trial that we're not seeing in the preliminary hearings. It's going to be interesting to see what surprises are next. But I just want to make it clear that this is from preliminary hearings. So on Tuesday, FBI agent Ken Harris testified that never would have uncovered Suzanne's affair with Jeff Liebler had she not been so paranoid about her husband's infidelity. While searching for Suzanne Morphew, they found a spy pen, which is a voice-activated recording device that resembles an ordinary ink pen. You can find those on Amazon, many other places. She hid this pen in her husband, Barry Morphew's truck. She had apparently hoped to catch evidence of an affair but instead recorded a conversation she had with Jeff Liebler, the married father of 6 who lives in Michigan. FBI agent Ken Harris told the court Suzanne and Jeff had secretly met up away from home at least 6 times and communicated online through LinkedIn and WhatsApp. While many people have said Barry Morphew turned up on several dating websites himself, investigators have said that they have found no evidence that Barry Morphew had an affair. And again, with trials going to possibly come up, there's going to be a lot more information come out. Jeff Liebler did not volunteer to talk to authorities. It was after 6 months of Suzanne's disappearance that he finally spoke to investigators. He had also deleted the accounts in which him and Suzanne had communicated on. And his reasoning was, he said he did not want to be that guy to tarnish Suzanne's legacy. Now, Barry, on the other hand, Suzanne's husband, almost immediately became a suspect. He told law enforcement he left for work Mother's Day morning last year around 5 a.m. But according to last year, this is going back to the dates. I will get the dates to you here shortly. But he left for work on Mother's Day at 5 a.m. But according to an arrest affidavit that come up in the preliminary, based on Barry Morphew's telematics report on his truck, officers believe from 2:47 p.m. May 9th until 5:37 a.m. May 10th that he took steps to dispose of evidence of Suzanne's disappearance and death, according to the Denver Post. Now, again, with this, no evidence has been presented to prove this, so we have to look at this on a theory level. Her affair, there has been some evidence presented, but there's still a lot of questions with that. So part of it is fact, part of it is theory. So we've gone over the difference in other videos, so I'm not going to go deep into that right now. Former FBI Special Agent Jonathan Grusing, and I'm probably not getting the name right again, he testified on Tuesday that data from Barry's phone shows that he drove home at 2:44 p.m. on Saturday, May 9th, and was moving around outside of the house for several minutes until his phone was turned on to airplane mode. It was on airplane mode for 7 hours. It switched out at 10:17 p.m. This in itself, we're going back to theory. There's many times I've pulled up at our house, I've come inside, I've had to go out to the truck to get stuff, go around and water plants, take the dog outside. So, there was no evidence coming forward other than he was walking around outside of his house for several hours once he got home. According to cell phone, and please don't think I'm trying to defend Barry here. I'm trying to look at this as open and unbiased as possible. I will get into my theories toward the end of this video. According to cell phone records, Barry Morphew left his home the following morning at 5:37 a.m. He was going to a construction site in Broomfield for a landscaping project. Surveillance video and Google Map photos reveal he made 5 different stops to toss some trash. First at his work site, then near a Holiday Inn where for some reason he checked in and changed his shirt. That's a red flag again. Why are you checking into a motel that's not that far of a drive to change a shirt? He stopped at a Men's Warehouse, at a McDonald's, and at a dump. While this may seem to be incriminating, I want us to remember this alone does not prove guilt, And this was just a preliminary hearing, not the trial, which is why full evidence did not come up in the preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing, they're basically giving you enough information to move forward with the trial where they can drop everything at that point. Now, Suzanne's friend, okay, hold up just a second here. I want to make sure I've got this name right. Okay, Suzanne's friend, Sheila Oliver, told jurors about text messages Suzanne sent her regarding her marriage with Barry. She said she did not feel safe being alone with Barry. She described a time in 2018 where Barry actually shoved her into a closet and held a gun to his own head and asked her if this is what she wants. In March of 2020, Suzanne wrote, "He won't speak of divorce. Begging for another chance. I'm so torn, but in my heart I know who he is." And in another text, she allegedly called Barry unstable. And going back, I wasn't in the courtroom, so I don't know if they had actual evidence, copies of these text messages, or if this is just her friend recounting what she had saw and heard through text messages. I would like to know for sure on that, because there is a huge difference. If they have the text messages there in the courtroom, that is evidence, that is proof. If they do not have those and it's going off of the word of the friend, that could still be considered hearsay. So it's going to make a huge difference if they have a copy and physical proof of these text messages. Just days before her disappearance, Suzanne allegedly told Barry that their marriage was over. Later in the day, they allegedly fought about money. Suzanne sent a text to Barry saying, "I'm done. I could care less what you've been up to for years. We just need to figure this out civilly." And I'm going to get into this a bit later on too, because there's a little bit more with these. And Barry responded, "I promise you are wrong about all the crazy thoughts about me. Only a fool would stray from an angel like you. When I'm dead, which won't be long, you guys will be taken care of." And again, I'm going to talk about those again here a little bit later on, because there is a little bit more to those messages. In September of 2019, Suzanne's friend, Sheila Oliver, advised Suzanne that she should begin tucking money away so she would be able to live on her own. Suzanne set up a secret Green Dot bank account as well as an account with a fund management company called Compass Management. The FBI Special Agent Ken Harris said on the stand that he did not follow up with those accounts. Going back to the spy pen also picked up arguments between Suzanne and Barry about finances, in which Suzanne told her friend Sheila most of their arguments revolved around. And again, I want to point out, at some point, most couples will have an argument or a disagreement based over finances. I was not there personally, so I cannot say one way or the other how those arguments went. And I'm not even going to attempt to speculate on that, at least right now. In March, Suzanne told Sheila she had a conversation with her younger daughter. Now, the two daughters, I will not be naming their names. I know their names is on public record. I'm just not comfortable sharing that right now. But she had a conversation with her younger daughter about separating from Barry. While the daughter was aware her parents were having problems, She told investigators she never saw Barry being physically abusive, and that statement was backed up by the second daughter when she was questioned as well. So here we have the two daughters telling investigators that they've never seen their dad physically abuse the mom. But I also want to reiterate, abuse comes in several forms. It's not always just physical. And while Suzanne's phone has not been found, investigators were able to uncover documents from Suzanne's iCloud account. One of the documents was a list that Suzanne made on May 8th entitled Grievances. There were notes on the document like wedding ring, which Barry allegedly took and melted down at some point. She also mentioned women on Facebook that Barry told her was good for business. She also listed an incident that happened in Mexico where Barry allegedly tried to take her phone away to look at it. On May 6th, Suzanne texted Barry indicating she wanted to end their relationship. And here's where I'm going to kind of get into those emails a little bit more. The text was found in Barry's cache. Okay, I apologize, I had to pause for a minute. But the text was found in Barry's cache indicating he deleted it, which means he would have had to have read it and then deleted it. And the full text read, "I'm done. I could care less what you've been up to and have been for years. We just need to figure this out civilly." That was from Suzanne to Barry. And Barry's reaction involved threats of suicide when he responded, "When I'm dead, which won't be long, you guys will be taken care of, and I'm going to see my Savior." That is strong words coming from both individuals there. And just, it's to be such a short conversation, that is such a deep conversation that just took place between these two individuals. On the morning of May 9th, a day before Suzanne Morphew disappeared, 59 communications were exchanged between Suzanne and Jeff Liebler, the married father of 6 in which she was having an affair with. That afternoon, Suzanne was outside sunbathing and snapped a photo of herself and sent it to Jeff. Former Agent Grusing told the court that we considered that photo to be her last proof of life. Investigators used GPS records and data from Barry's F-350 to pinpoint Barry's locations. Former Agent Grusing showed a map that showed the cell phone pings around the house, stating that they were from all over outside the house, indicating that Barry was chasing Suzanne while she was still conscious. The defense, however, has said this is pure speculation, as the cell phone pings also show Barry walking through the walls of the house. Now, this one, it's tough to say, and I personally, I'm not going to speculate which way that's going. That could literally go either way. During questioning in November of 2020, Barry indicated that he had been shooting chipmunks. Former Agent Grushing, I know I'm getting that name wrong, asked him if he had been shooting a .22 caliber, and Barry said yes. This was important because investigators had found a cap to a tranquilizer dart that can be fired from a .22 caliber. The cap was found in the dryer. Now, I've spent many years in the country. I've done a lot of hunting, including squirrels and stuff with 22. That is not in itself alarming. The tranquilizers, I don't know if they had a lot of animals or what they had the tranquilizers for. I'm hoping to get that information. Some people were shocked. Tranquilizers you can get from many locations. If you're a farmer, you got livestock, sometimes you're going to need tranquilizers, and you do have access to those. So this is the fact that they're out in the country, they got tranquilizers, is not alarming or shocking. It's going to be what their intended use for those tranquilizers is what we need to know. There were grid searches with local law enforcement and contracted volunteers, search and rescue team searches, drones and drone teams, aircraft, scuba divers, swift water rescue, and canines were brought in. They searched mines as well as an XL water pipe. Ground penetrating radar survey was done by a geologist, and concrete was removed from a garage slab from a project. There were multiple excavations done, but no human remains were uncovered. And I have my theories, but regardless of what any of our theories are, I know we could all agree, we all hope that justice, whether it was Barry that killed his wife, or if he's innocent and somebody else is guilty, or if she simply left and went to another country that her and Jeff had talked about running away together to. At this point, there is not enough evidence that I have seen revealed that's going to pinpoint what happened. And again, that goes back to being a preliminary hearing. I'm sure they've got evidence, but at the end of the day, we all want Suzanne found, and we want justice to be served. When I start thinking about my theories on this, and at this point, I'm still hesitant to really go into theories, but I'll bounce a couple things around. I mentioned that that Suzanne and Jeff had talked about running away together to another country, Costa Rica, somewhere in southern or South America. But right now, with the evidence that I've seen so far, I don't think it could be ruled out that she did take off down there. But at the same time, I don't feel you could rule out Barry Morphew possibly murdering his wife. And I don't think you can rule out that it wasn't Barry, that it could have been somebody else. And at this point, as a search and recovery team, at this point, we couldn't rule accident out either. I mean, that's very low on the list for me on this one. If I had to list out of those four options, the order I thought they were most likely, number one would have to be a tie. It would have to be between Barry possibly murdering his wife or her running off to this other country and waiting for Jeff to eventually meet up with her. Those are in the top spot for me. The next spot would be somebody else being involved with her disappearance, and bottom of the list would be an accident, something along those lines. I fully believe there is foul play involved in this in one way or another. Either Barry murdering her, her running off and framing Barry for this. And again, I don't want you thinking that I'm defending Barry in any way right now. The only thing that I defend Barry on right now is he is guaranteed due process by the United States Constitution, and he should get that. One thing that does bother me, and it's not so much anything with this, is how I am seeing so many people condoning Suzanne having an affair. When she was being portrayed as the innocent, completely innocent, and people were saying that Barry was cheating, he was the worst monster for having an affair. But Suzanne has an affair, and it's proven, and excuses are made. It's understood. It's okay. It's not okay. I don't care who you are, what the situation is. Having an affair is never okay. Even if her and Barry's marriage was over, Jeff is still married to a lady and a father of 6 kids. What about his wife and kids? There's a lot more at play here than Suzanne and her feelings, Jeff and his feelings, Barry and his feelings. Both families have kids. Granted, they're a little older, but that's still their mom and dad in this situation. So this shouldn't be about defending Suzanne having an affair. This should be about finding Suzanne and justice being served. And as I said, this barely scratches the surface, and we will be doing several other episodes on this case. We'll continue digging into this, keeping you updated as we go. Please let me know your thoughts on this case. If what I'm seeing on social media is true, I know there's going to be a lot of people complaining that I talked out against Suzanne having an affair. That's your right to do. But to me, cheating's wrong no matter who you are. There's no excuse for it, and I will not apologize for that. And I will not back down on that. Does that mean she should have been murdered? Absolutely not. If somebody murdered her, my opinion, murder, death penalty, that is my opinion. There's no place in this world for somebody who is so cold they would take the life of somebody else. I don't care if it's Barry, I don't care if it's Jeff, I don't care if it's some complete stranger. If you murder somebody, death penalty. We should not have to spend our tax dollars taking care of you the rest of your life. You murdered somebody and it's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, death penalty. So I'm not here to defend Barry, and I'm not here to defend Suzanne. None of us are there. None of us have all the facts on this case. We may think we do. We may think we know what's going on, but we also thought Suzanne led this innocent life, and we were wrong. We do not know all the facts on this case. A lot of this has been sealed. Until we do, none of us knows exactly what has happened. We have our theories, but theories, there's no facts. That's our opinions. So let me know your thoughts on this. Hopefully soon answers will be found on this. If Barry done it, the best thing he can do at this point would be to let investigators know where Suzanne is. If somebody else done it, the best thing they could do, even if it's anonymous, let somebody know where Suzanne is. I know the girls, the daughters have seemed to take their dad's side on this. We will get more into that later. There's a lot of things like that it took what I thought I knew on this case and showed me I didn't really know it. I mean, the shock factor, the turnarounds, this case has had it all. So hopefully answers will be coming soon, and we will be releasing more videos on this soon. So till next time, y'all stay safe, and let's bring some of these people home.